What's going on, y'all? Joe Johnston here from Initiate Connections, the best speaker growth consulting company in the space today. And I am here with my guy, the one and only Wesley Morris, 610-554-5533. What's up, brother?
Yay! How's it going today, man?
Good.
Outstanding.
Good, man. Good. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, bro. Well,
Yeah.
how's everything in your world, man? I want to hop right in. And, we had connected, I want to say a month or two ago,
Yeah.
when we originally connected, and just really want to check in with you and kind of hear about your experience working with us. I know you have an incredibly inspirational message and your story. And when you came to us, it was like really just trying to figure out how do we get this out to the world more. So I want to hear and
Mhm.
just from your eyes, like how everything's been in working with us and kind of, yeah, what your experience has been like so far.
It's thank you. Thank you. And not only have you added value to my life, but Joe, you become a friend. You and Aaron have become a friend.
Facts.
You just the way that you treat me, the way that you interact with me, your response to my inquiries, just everything has been first class. And you know, that's not the way that I thought it would go. I thought, here's another speaking, platform to get better. Here's another couple of guys selling me the XYZ package to become a successful speaker. And, to my surprise, that is not what this was. It was first class all the way. From the initial phone call, you explained exactly what you did. You made it very clear, and it made complete sense.
Mm.
And, in hindsight, 2 months later, I booked 3 speaking engagements, which is completely paid for the initial investment of working with you guys. And I have a predictable system to generate quality speaking leads that I can scale at my discretion. I am beyond happy with my services with Initiate Connections, and I just wanted to thank you.
That's it, man. Let's just end it right there. I mean, that's you just put it into it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, man. I appreciate you. And like, dude, like it's just it goes right back to you. Aaron and I talk about you have been nothing but just fantastic to work with. And kind of like Aaron and I chatted about, like our first call we had with you, you helped us optimize our offer and optimize the program because we realized some stuff in working with you that we could do to serve clients at a higher level. And I think you really said something in there that was huge. It was like, man, when you came to us and we originally chatted, and this is with so many speakers, Wes, and I know you know this and knowing speakers, it was like Wes doesn't lack the inspiration. Wes doesn't lack the story. And truthfully, like you just sent us that clip. I'm gonna go watch it, and I've seen you speak before. You're a fantastic speaker, man. And you
Thanks,
know it.
man.
I know it. You know that your story is going to impact a lot of people. The pain point, the thing that you were struggling with, and I'll let you kind of elaborate on this, was like I don't know how to get leads. I don't know how, like, or I do, but it's a pain in the ass. I don't know how to do it in the most cost-effective manner and time-efficient manner. And you have, a million other things going on. And so helping you implement that lead gen system that's predictable, like you said, is already booked 3 paid speaking engagements for you, which I want to dive into deeper. But it's like that's the thing that was solved. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, tell us a little bit about before we came here together. Again, you were pretty solid. You had spoken a little bit, but where you were at and like trying to generate leads and then now, a couple months later, that we've implemented this system, how things are different. And you've kind of alluded to this a little bit, but walk us through where we were at when we originally started working together and now what the business looks like.
Well, absolutely. Prior to this, I was speaking for free for 8 years. And I kind of, I dreamed about being paid for my services, but I didn't know where to start. Matter of fact, I didn't even know that you could get paid for professional speaking. And I say that intentionally is professional speaking. One of the things that Joe has alluded to me is I classify myself as a motivational speaker, and that's just not going to get the job done. They come a dime a dozen, right? I know football coaches that are better motivational speakers than some motivational speakers. So I really became a professional speaker, and you know, prior to working with Joe and Aaron, it was just kind of like word of mouth. hey, do you know anybody, in my local area? And just kind of hope and wish that maybe they'll hire me, and hopefully they'll have a budget for, some type of compensation. And that's a grind. And I think it's a necessary grind, so that you can appreciate what Joe and Aaron have. So I went from, there, and I talked to so many speakers that are in the same boat. They love speaking, they have that magnetic personality, they have the story, but they just don't know how to get there, wherever there is. And I met with Joe, and he understood where I was at, and he understood the process that I was going through. Maybe I might send out 10 to 20 handwritten emails every day to hopefully, people that are qualified to open them and maybe hire me. And what Joe and Aaron have showed me is how to systematize the lead generating process so that I don't have to trade my time for lead generation. And it's a game changer. Game changer, dude. Absolutely incredible. And it works. It works. I've gotten the results. And that's the most important part. Yeah, you could have a great system, and in theory it works, but like, I'm living proof that I've generated paid speaking engagements for 5,000 plus using their system. Fire.
Boom. Fire. That's the word, fire. Well, so tell us about that, man, because and it's great with you, man, as well, because you're not even like managing the system to a degree. You have Hassan, your VA, who's in there like managing and taking over the system. And so it's even more hands off, where you're at the point where theoretically, and you can still go in, and we all do this, right? You still go in, follow up with people, but like, you're at the point where theoretically all you need to do is hop on the sales calls that Hassan sets to you, and then close
Right.
the deals, and then go speak, which is, I think, where the majority of speakers want to be, right? So it's a beautiful thing when you have the VA, or you have the means to put a VA in place there. And then for you, man, like, you have other stuff that you're doing, like working for Cialdini, like you have other sales role where you're making
Oh
money,
yeah.
right? So what's beautiful is now you have that system that's working, that's producing speaking engagements for you. Hassan's
Right.
managing it, doesn't take a bunch of your time, but it's still producing the results. And then you're over here making more money doing other things for, your life and your family and your business. So it's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. And again, it's living proof to, this method and it working. So let's dig into the specific opportunities. You mentioned 3 paid speaking and opportunities. Tell me a little bit about that, like how much those opportunities have been for. I know not all of those you've done yet, but tell us a little bit about like the actual tangible results and paid speaking opportunities that you've gotten from the system.
Yeah. Yeah. So uh we classified three areas: corporate, college, and high school. And we really hit the high school market pretty hard. And I have booked 3 calls with different high schools, one in New York, one in California, and I forget exactly where the other one is. Um, and I put my price out there at $5,000 to a 45-60 minute presentation. And they bought. Now I also had the back end stuff ready to go, the marketing material. So it's almost like I was ready to go. I was ready to go to the next level. And this was kind of like the final piece of the puzzle.
Totally. Totally. You had the message, you came in, which not all our clients do. Most have the message and the story and they're good on stage. Not all have the marketing, branding, and positioning. You had solid marketing, branding, and positioning, the website, all that stuff. And then it was like, cool, now how do we drive traffic? That's the biggest thing. How do we drive traffic and start getting the people who have the budget to pay Wesley to know more about
Yeah,
Wesley? Because we know that you have the
exactly.
message and you can solve problems. So it's beautiful, man. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Where can people go Wesley, to find out more about you? Again, I want to drive traffic, right? More to you and the work that you do. So Instagram, your website, what's the best place for speakers, event planners to find more about Wesley Morris and the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, you can find a ton of information at my website, which is just my name, Wesley with a T, Morris.com. And that's the same across Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. They're all on there. And now Threads.
He's getting active on the threads. I love it.
Gotta do it.
Cool, brother.
Gotta
Any
do it.
any parting words for, speakers who are considering joining us at Initiate Connections or really just trying to take their speaking business to the next level?
Oh man, look, these guys are not just another company trying to, yes, they do, teach you how to become a better speaker, but it's almost like, look, here's the thing that my mentor taught me. Everybody thinks, to be this inspiring speaker and, they have this great story. And yes, that is a part of it. This is the acting business. This is show business, right? And just like in Hollywood, man, speakers are a dime a dozen. So how are you going to stand out? How are you going to get work? And Joe and Aaron have given me a behind the scenes look on how to get that done. That the value that they have brought both on our scheduled calls and in the slash
Yeah.
in the online platform that we use to communicate has been by far way more than I paid. So I would encourage anybody at any level of their career to get with these guys for sure. And one last final thing. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. These guys care.
Gave me goosebumps, bro. Gonna get me crying over here. Now I'm gonna go watch your video and I'm gonna actually start crying with you on stage. Hey, remember the name, folks. Remember the name right here, and remember where you heard it here, folks, first, because this dude's gonna be a huge deal very soon. Love
Let's
yourself,
go.
Wesley Morris, and he's not about the fame, he's not about the glitter, he doesn't have the ego. He's about real transformation and has a real story that is gonna change a lot of lives. Love you, bro. Thank you so much.
Love you
Um,
too.
and we'll chat soon.